I was 100%. I never voted Republican my whole life. I was very left-leaning, especially with like any social issues. When it comes to financial things, I'm a little bit more conservative, but at the end of the day, I'm way more left than I am right. But California went nuts, man.
So we are for sure living in some crazy times. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this, but the times now have become so crazy that more and more people have simply had enough of what is going on. Even people who may have aligned themselves on the left. In this episode today, firstly, I want to talk about this clip that went viral around the end of January of Joe Rogan, where he basically says, well, what I said a few seconds ago, things are now so insane that he can't do it anymore. He can no longer support the side he once did. Colin Rugg goes on to post this on X. Joe Rogan goes off on liberalism, says he was a liberal his whole life but can no longer support their cause because it has gone full communist. Rogan is wide awake. I was very left-leaning. At the end of the day, I'm more left than I am right, but California went nuts, man. It's gone like full communist. It's out of its effing mind, and their approach to law enforcement is so insane. It's so insane. They're no cash bail. They're letting people out for committing violent crimes and not stopping people for stealing. And what we're seeing here is when one side goes so far to the extreme that it ends up leaving people behind, and those people who have been left behind, their worldviews now clearly aren't acceptable for that side, so naturally they just end up leaning more and more to the right. And let's just be real right now, unless you agree with absolutely everything 100% these woke liberals, these woke leftists talk about and what they want to happen, they don't want to hear it, man. They'll cast you to the side. It's absolutely bonkers. It really is. Now, this clip of Joe Rogan is around 3 to 4 minutes long, and I'll play most of it for you guys. It's in a podcast with Bobby Lee where they obviously talk about all of this stuff, and I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section on what Joe Rogan says. I'll see you all in a bit. Sit back, relax, and take a watch.
Austin people are great people. They're really nice. They're nice. They're not heads. They're not Hollywood people. They're not lost in this fake world of leftist ideology that everybody's trapped in. They're just people. They're just regular people, man. And those people exist outside of these blue bubbles where everyone's gone insane. Well, I used to be a part of the blue bubble. I was 100% a left-leaning person who lived in Los Angeles. I was 100%. I never voted Republican my whole life. I was very left-leaning, especially with like any social issues. When it comes to financial things, I'm a little bit more conservative, but at the end of the day, I'm way more left than I am right. But California went nuts, man. It's gone like full communist. It's out of its mind. And their approach to law enforcement is so insane. It's so insane. The no cash bail, the letting people out for committing violent crimes, not stopping people for stealing up to whatever money it is. What is it, $900 now? I think they raised it. I think they made it a little higher. San Francisco is non-existent. Most of San Francisco is emptied out of like big chain stores and big department stores.
I won't even do stand-up there anymore.
It's crazy.
They ruined it.
They ruined the city.
Yeah,
I mean, you can bring it back. The structure's still there. But you'd have to have some hardcore Rudy Giuliani type mother come in there and knock heads.
Wow.
And nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. They're peace, love, and granola and wear a mask.
I'm in the middle now.
I'm in the middle.
I never thought I would ever say that.
Never.
It only happened in this last year.
Right, exactly.
I just went, I can't do it anymore. People that you thought were aligned with you are like now like mad at you about.
They're in a cult. It's got all. I mean, Mark Andreessen, who's a brilliant venture capitalist guy, explained it to me in very clear terms, like what the definition of a cult is, how you can get excommunicated, how you get shamed for having differing opinions, the group think, he's like, it's a cult. And he's right. He's 100% right.
Yeah.
It's just hard to say because then people in the cult will attack you.
So you get what Joe Rogan is basically trying to say, and I don't know who he's going to vote for this time in the next US election. I would assume it's going to be Trump, but this is the world we now live in. It's pretty much normality versus insanity. That's what it's come down to. And who knows, maybe soon Joe Rogan will have Donald Trump on his podcast. A lot of people have been calling for that. It will definitely be interesting and pull huge numbers. But I just struggle to understand how people genuinely think these woke agendas, these woke liberal agendas going on right now are good for society. Right? For example, this next story. Recently, I'm sure a lot of you have heard, in New York, the sanctuary city, a group of migrants ended up attacking police officers and were released without bail, with one of them pictured sticking middle fingers up. This is a result of one side going so far to the extreme that they just want everybody and anybody to come in to the country. Oh, who cares who's coming in? Diversity is our strength. Yeah, this has gotten so out of hand that even a far left comedian has come out and said voting for Donald Trump now is on the cards because of this situation. The New York Post go on to report, far-left comic Michael Rapaport says voting for Trump is on the table after seeing migrants beat down cops in Times Square. Comedian and staunch critic of former President Trump, Michael Rapaport, unleashed a scathing rant against New York City's immigration problems and President Biden's priorities this week, suggesting that if Biden doesn't deal with the problems here at home, voting for Trump is on the table. Rapaport shared a video to X Friday railing against the recent news story about migrants in New York City beating up cops and then being released shortly after the altercation.
Voting for pig Donald Trump is on the table. Voting for pig Donald Trump is on the table. The other day in New York City, 6 illegal aliens jumped a New York City cop, NYPD's finest. They jumped a New York City cop in Times Square and were arrested and released without bail. I know it's a city thing. I know it's a state thing. I know all that. I know all that. I know all that. Okay? Stay with me. Released without bail. Came out of the courtroom on some Tupac raising the middle finger with the Detroit Red Wings jersey. Let me tell you something. What the is the world coming to? If you could be from another country, beat up a cop in New York City and walk out with no bail, what the is the world coming to? What the is the world coming to?
Hey, look, man, some people will say, and this is just a thought, you know, instead of allowing your Trump derangement syndrome to get the better of you and voting for the people who are now allowing this to happen, some common sense should have been applied. But this is just what is going down, and I know there is a massive, massive difference between this comedian and Joe Rogan in the terms of more and more people like Joe Rogan, but, you know, people are watching what is going on and they just want to move away from it. They want stability placed on a higher pedestal than delusion. Definitely interesting times, and the next US election, first and foremost, is going to be very telling in where the future takes us. And I think we can all understand how important it's going to be. But leave your thoughts down below on everything I've discussed today. What are your thoughts again on Joe Rogan and now this comedian basically saying, nah, we need some help now? I'd like to know. If you have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video, comment on this video, share this video. But until next time, it has been your boy JD. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'm out.